Okay, so this last video is going to be quite short. I'm going to talk about how you can be a successful politician, how to build your career, how to uh, do it good. Okay, so first of all, getting into the Senate is really really hard if you do not have a military experience. Uh, political experience. So therefore, it's advised to go for the plebeian council first. Okay, so um, the plebeian council is a really good place to learn. I know that because I wasn't there myself. If you want to grow fast, there's only one thing I can advise you, and it's going for a magistracy. Okay, as soon as you get the opportunity, you run for additum plebis or ideally plebis, whatever suits you best. Additum, both are small jobs. Additum is just approving plebeian citizenships. Ideally is hosting events and all that. This is what you start with, and this is the basis of your career. From there, you go on to caput conciliari, perhaps princeps oratoris, and then even maybe plebeian tribune. Um, but what I wanted to say is that as soon as you get the opportunity, you go for one of these. Okay, you go for the smaller ones to start with, and then people will know that you exist, and that will be your stepping stone for the rest of your career. Okay. I went to the Senate after doing additum plebis, but I also had additional experience. I also had traditional experience. I was caput advocatus and all that. I wrote a really good capatio, and that way I got into the Senate. It is, however, I prefer to. It's more guaranteed to like do one term as additum or something, and then another term as concilium. What is it here? As caput conciliari. Okay. If you do that, people will acknowledge that okay, he has been elected caput conciliari, he knows his stuff. But additum plebis also says something. It means that you have done a full term as a magistrate. You know how to do things. You know how to take responsibility for something. Okay, so that will be your stepping stone. Okay, if you want to go in the Senate, uh, you have to have done at least one of those. Um, but yeah, so basically, what you want to do in elections is, well, you start off with a good capatio. Okay, if you look at mine, I spent a lot of time writing it. Um, so when it comes to, by the way, when it comes to experiences, you have two options. Either you put the whole list in there of the most remarkable things, the things you absolutely want in there, or you don't put it in there and you profile yourself as a guy who doesn't give a shit about his experiences. However, the advantage of an experience list is that people know that okay, he's been in predictive list before. Okay, he knows how to blah blah blah. It shows your experience. It shows you're competent, and it shows how far you've come. When it comes to plans, you want a lot of plans. I mean, not a lot of plans. You just want something that looks like it's put effort into it. Okay. I actually honestly had a lot of plans right here for predictive list. Um, for the smaller jobs, you don't have to write it this big. Um, just yeah, just what I do is just pick a topic and then I write everything I want to say about it, and then blah 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 per topic, and you can see like that. Okay. Um, why is this important? Because it's the basis of your election. Okay. So if there's multiple candidates running for one position, which in my case are not currently, you want to have the better capatio. You want to have like you want to be able to say that okay, I'm better because of this, this, and this, and you can also see this in my capatio and blah 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 blah. Okay. One more thing about this: when the reason why people only post their capatios like the day or even a couple of hours before the election start is because if there's multiple opponents, certainly in bigger jobs like caput conciliaris of I don't know whatever, there's going to be debates. Okay, if you post your capatio like 3 days in advance, you basically say to your opponents, "Hey, look, here is my plans. You can dissect them, and in debates you just pick out. I mean, you just give your opponents the option to like read your entire Capacia and pick out the things that you can that pick out the things where they're better than you, or they can like ask questions, annoying questions. They can bring you down. It works in your disadvantage. That's why people post their Capacia like a couple of hours or a day before the elections start, because of the whole thing. So yeah, a Capacia like okay. Also, no, this is the last thing. Okay, so when you're into elections and you wake up and you are 6 votes behind your opponent, that is not a good reason to pull out. Okay, you have to be persistent. Um, when that happens, you just start dimming your Capacia to people. That's something I do, and it works quite well, honestly. So you just DM the link to the members of the plebeian council or senate, whatever. And you tell them, hey, here's my Capacia. Um, please consider voting for me, something like that. And then some people are just going to vote for you because they don't give a crap. Other people are going to ask a couple of questions like, why should I vote for you, blah blah blah. Or people are still deciding, but the DM makes it really personal. If they did not make an opinion yet about the elections, like most people don't give a crap about who is going to be ideal plebes. Okay, they just, I mean, if you DM them, it shows them that you really want it, that you are willing to do the effort for it. So it's really recommended to do that. However, don't push people. Don't spam their DMs. Don't be like, why are you not responding and all that. If they're not respond, just let it down. For some people, it's just better not to DM them. In the Senate, it's more than in the plebeian. In the plebeian council, you can do no harm. In the Senate, it's different. Some people will just vote against you because you DM them. But that's what you notice when you get to know people in the Senate. But generally, it will get you more votes if you DM your Capacia around and tell people like, okay, here is my coup, please consider voting for me, like that. So I went over the plebeian magistracies. Now, if you want to build your career in the Senate, it's a little harder. Okay, you either you have your sector, either you're a civil guy and you're I don't know, a judicial guy. um, you really have to. Your only option, basically. Okay, let me rephrase that. If you are not especially special in any sector, then your go-to is procurator, or ideally, what is it? Ideally, here it is. Um, Ideally, if you like, I mean, I would never go for ideally because I don't like the event sector. I mean, I don't give a crap about the. But if you do, there's people that do, and I respect those people. If you can bring it up to do events and all that, if that's your thing, you should go for that. However, in Ideally, by the way, there is no growth potential. There's no natural flow of people when it comes to Ideally. Okay, um, it is, however, different for procurator. Okay, if you're a procurator and you do your job well, you will have a chance to become princeps, and then people who have been in princeps for a long time, well, they stand a chance to become consuls of Civilis one time. Anyways, yeah. Also, yeah, cancer is also a good way to gain popularity. Like, I mean, the biggest compartment of your job will be to index legislation, so you really have to be into it. Another part, the fun part is Gentes and all that. But okay, you have to pick what you want to do, and you have to choose wisely because once you're in your term, there's no real backing out. And I mean, if you lose motivation, the best option you have is resigning. Okay, you don't want to be executed. That's just a worst case scenario. You do not want that. It's like a curse over your career. Okay, so like you have to live a month with what you do. So you have to choose wisely. It is, however, so that for consul, if your ambition is consul Kivlis, you go for prerequisites for sure, like a couple terms, 2, 3, something like that, and maybe procuratorship or princeps. But you also, if for consul, you have to have military experience too. Don't forget about that. If you do not have the military experience, you can forget about any consulship whatsoever. So yeah, that's about it. For the rest, I can only advise you when elections come and there's multiple people that run for a position that you're running for. There's almost a guarantee that there's going to be debates. Okay, for Ideally, there might be debates. For Praetor, there might be debates, but for Cancer, not. I mean, for Cancer, possible, but for Princeps and for Procurator, not really, because there's nothing to debate about. It's just doing the job, okay? But so what you want to do is you want to you ask a friend or something to assemble a couple of questions for you, and you ask them to you, okay? And then like that, you prepare for the debate, okay? You have them be critical. You have your friend ask questions and all that, annoying questions. Okay, you just what did I just do? And then never mind. You want to be prepared, okay? You want to be smooth in your answering. You want to be to the point, okay? You want to convince these people. So preparing for debate is a really good tip I can give you. For the rest, building your political career is obviously a part of your mentality, part of who you are. And also one last thing. I have no opponents, but in elections, you cannot have mercy. Like say there's another guy with 5 votes. I mean that has been running for 5 times and really wants it. I mean, if you okay, I just pity this guy, so I'm going to pull out of the election so that he can have the job. If your mentality is like that, you're never going to get the position, because there's always someone that is better or whatever. You cannot have mercy. If you want a position in politics, you have to go for it with 100%. Okay. So that's about what I had to say. So okay. There will be an exam coming soon about the politics thing. This last tip and trick thing will not be in it. So it's going to be a real basic exam, probably about 10 questions or something. I don't know. But you'll hear more about it. So it was kind of fun teaching this. I hope you enjoyed it too. Okay, so see you later, and you can always DM me questions or stuff. I don't know, whatever you want. Okay, so see ya.